One of the primary conversations that I have with pretty much any agent that I talk to, especially if they are looking to make a pivot, is Marvin, I want to get out of my 9 to 5. So if you're watching this video today, you have a desire to make that jump from 9 to 5, 8 to 3, or whatever to do real estate full time. What's going on? It's your brother, your uncle, your favorite realtor's favorite realtor. And for today's video, I'm going to give you a 10-step blueprint. So you're going to want to make sure you got a pen and a pad because I'm going to give you my exact blueprint on how I was able to make that leap from a 9 to 5 to doing real estate full time. If you're watching this video, I want you to take a couple of assessments of yourself. This video is going to give you a specific tactical strategy and a blueprint that I personally followed, but this may not necessarily be for everybody. So my objective today is that you're going to take away 6 to 7 of the 10 strategies that I'm going to walk through and apply it into your game plan to make the leap from corporate America. The first thing that I want to make sure that we walk through is that having a 9 to 5 job is not a bad thing. It can truly provide you a level of abundance before you make that leap into doing real estate full time. I know there's a lot of talk right now on these social webs that talk about having a boss being a terrible thing. But I'm very contrarian because having a boss, quote unquote, that doesn't change when you go into doing real estate full time. It's just that your boss now becomes your buyer and your seller clients. But you will always have a boss when you are in either entrepreneurship or W-2 work. So I'm not going to demonize doing a 9 to 5. If you watch this video and you decide that you love your 9 to 5, that is awesome. That is not a bad thing. You are not going to get 9 to 5 shamed by your brother and your uncle. So the first thing that I would suggest if a person is interested in making that leap to doing real estate full time is to take an extreme audit of your finances. How much money do you have coming in on a regular basis for the next, let's say 30, 60, 90 days? If you lost your job today, how long could you survive on your current savings that you have and your current assets that are coming in? That's something that you're going to definitely want to have a conversation with yourself about because it's not how much you make. Typically, it's how much you keep that matters. So one of the things that I would definitely suggest that you do is take a look at those ankle biter expenses that you have. Do you really truly need Hulu, Netflix, ABC, any of those other streaming services that are out there? Could you really just get by on one of those streaming services? That's something that you may have to sacrifice. I know as of this recording, we're heading into the NFL season, for example, and I got friends that have to have their NFL Sunday ticket. But if you're trying to make that leap into doing real estate full time, you are going to have to cut your expenses to as minimal as possible. Now, I'm not telling you that you got to get rid of all of your subscriptions. But what I will say is that it's important to take an extreme audit. And you could do something even, this is something that I did personally, is pull down your most recent bank statement from like the last 90 days. It'll give you a bank statement in a PDF format. Upload that bank statement to something like ChatGPT and say, hey, ChatGPT, take an audit of my last 90 days of expenses from this attached bank account and let me know where are some potential wasteful spending areas that I might want to look at canceling. ChatGPT will not lie to you. He will, or it will tell you exactly the areas that you are having waste that's coming out of your bank account that you could probably get benefit from by consolidating some of those streaming services and music services and all that into maybe one or two. Personally speaking, I just have YouTube Premium because I cannot stand ads on YouTube. And with my YouTube Premium subscription, it comes with YouTube Music. So rather than paying for YouTube and paying for like a Spotify or some other streaming service, YouTube Music gives me the exact same access to all my favorite music, but it's attached to my YouTube Premium membership, which is like $15 a month. You're watching me right now on YouTube. So that tells me that you probably don't consume as much TV as you think, so you might want to consider getting rid of that. In addition to that, you want to take a look at all of your other expenses that are out there. Do you really need a 2 gig, 3 gig high-speed internet service? Do you need all of those bundles that come with those, your cell phone provider and all of that? You probably don't. Me personally, I switched to a company like US Mobile, who I have talked about them in several videos. I love US Mobile. They give me unlimited everything for 25 bucks a month. And I get access to T-Mobile's towers, Verizon's towers, AT&T's towers, depending on where I am in the city, because I'm out doing showings and I'm all over my city. The service is sometimes janky. So I can just literally switch between networks with a cell phone company like US Mobile. If you click the link in the description below, you'll see my free code for you to utilize and give them a try. But in addition to auditing your finances, that's just to cut this wasteful spending that may be coming out. But the next thing that you're going to want to do is know what your freedom number is. So let's say we've cut all of the wasteful expenses and we've cut everything down to the bare bones. You've gotten rid of your DoorDash, you don't do Uber Eats anymore, none of that stuff. How much do you actually need to operate on a monthly basis? Meaning food, lights, water, gas, rent, or mortgage. What is that number on a monthly basis? That is your essential expenses. You cannot live without food. You cannot live comfortably without lights, water, or gas, unless you're at the Planet Fitness every day and you take your showers there. But truly speaking, you have to know what those expenses are that you absolutely need to operate off of on a regular basis. So once you know that number, consider that your freedom number. So as long as you make enough to sustain yourself and pay all of your essential expenses, that is the number that will have to be your new baseline before you consider making the pivot into real estate full time. Hey, if you've made it this far in the video and you are a real estate professional, consider partnering with me here at Real Brokerage. Pay nothing per month, get a fantastic split, and you have the opportunity to build a business through revenue share and stock purchases. Book a call at the link below in today's video, and I'm happy to have a conversation on why I was able to grow my business exponentially by moving my practice to Real Brokerage. All right, back to the video. And what you'll want to do is you'll want to build that freedom number up. Let's say you need to operate on a monthly basis $5,000 a month, hypothetically. That's all of your bills that are essential only in a monthly basis. I would say you would want to have at least 3 to 6 months of that expense saved somewhere. It could be in a high yield savings account, just somewhere that you have immediate access to it if there's something that comes up. Because going to real estate full time, I can't tell you how many people I've seen that made that leap prematurely and have ended up struggling and having to turn their tail and go back into the job that they told everybody where to go and how to get there. So if you're going to make that leap, you've got to prepare, plan, and execute and do it the right way so that when you go, you're able to really take off. If you make that leap prematurely, you won't be operating from abundance. You will be operating from a desperation standpoint. So will you truly be able to advocate for your clients when you got to get them in a home because you got to get that commission check to pay your rent the next month? You're probably not going to be in the best mindset to really fight for your buyer or your seller clients because you have to get that commission check in order to live. And that's not a good place to be from a mental health and a stress standpoint. The next thing that you're going to want to do is to know your lead sources and get them to a point to where you are really truly getting dependable leads on a consistent basis. Because when you go real estate full time, you got to go kill what you eat. I'm vegan, so please don't kill anything and eat it. You literally have to ensure that you have a lead in your pipeline every single month, multiple leads in your pipeline. Because remember, now that you've gone full time into real estate, you have to make at least $5,000 a month. That's the number that you have to get to come rain, sleet, or snow. So what I would be doing is during my 9 to 5, as I'm planning to make that leap within 6 months or a year, I would every single weekend hit up a house in my MLS, either a new construction or a very nicely done resale home, and shoot Instagram content, shoot YouTube content. Take the same video that you're recording on one platform and then turn it into a video for all of the platforms, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, as well as YouTube. The reason you're going to want to do that is because before you make that leap, you have got to build up a portfolio that represents your knowledge of your local market, because you don't know how and when your next client is going to find you. And you have to have a presence in all of these places that we are navigating on a regular basis, is just using social media. So if you really truly want to make that leap from a 9 to 5, every single weekend, for the next 6 months, if it were me, I would be hitting up at least 2 to 3 homes and recording on my iPhone YouTube home tour videos that you shoot in a horizontal format. If you don't want to be on camera, that's cool. You can be behind the camera. You can go Spike Lee style behind me. You can get behind that camera and start recording content that's going as far as homes in your market. The great thing about that is that many listing agents will have no problem allowing you to go and just shoot videos wherever in their community, in whatever part of town. If it were me, I would look at three tiers as far as the content that I shoot with home tours. I would go with the $1 million type of homes, and then I'd go with the middle of the market price point, and then I'd go with the lower end price point, because you want your leads to find you in a range of budgets. Everybody is not going to be able to afford that $1 million home. Personally speaking, I don't use it, even though I've sold $1 million plus homes, I don't use the title luxury agent. You know why? Because that luxury agent title will make other individuals that aren't quite ready to buy a luxury home think that I'm not going to be willing to serve and work with them, when I will work with just about anybody that's pre-approved. You know what I'm saying? So you don't know where your next client is going to find you. So I would literally every single weekend, one of those three price points, or all three price points, I should say, I would do a video tour at each one of those price points on different parts of town. You know why? Because people are on this platform called YouTube, and they're searching videos like homes in Atlanta, Georgia, homes in Decatur, Georgia, homes in Sandy Springs, Georgia. So I want to be the guy that shows up whenever a person is going on YouTube to see what kind of homes they can buy at 500,000, what kind of home they can buy at $1 million, what kind of home they can buy at 200,000. I want to be that guy that shows up when that person is searching on YouTube. And if you have a goal to go full time into real estate, you need to be marketing yourself 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And YouTube is the only place that allows you to do that for free 99. You never know when or what video is going to hit. So that's why getting consistent on doing that will prove to yourself that you truly are ready to make that leap into real estate full time. And you will have a portfolio of home tour videos that you've done where you've dropped your name, your contact number within the first 10 seconds, so that individuals that are watching that pretty home tour video that you're recording on your regular old iPhone, they will know how to get in contact with you if they're ready to make the move to your particular market. Now, the third thing I want to walk through is that you will only be successful in the thing that you track regularly. So if you're going to the gym and you're just arbitrarily picking up a random weight or doing a random treadmill, you don't have any strategy, but you have a goal, let's say, to put on 15 pounds of lean muscle or lose 20 pounds. You have to track every single activity that you're doing to ensure that those activities are getting you to that goal that you have of either putting on muscle or losing weight. The same logic applies with doing real estate full time. Do you have a CRM system, which is a contact management system that you track every single prospect that you talk with? Because again, your real estate coach or guru out there will not be honest with you and tell you that hitting up your friends and family, aka your sphere of influence, is not going to be how you are going to get your next deal. Trust and believe your friends and family, they're rooting for you. They're happy that you got your real estate license. But 9 times out of 10, they know what you did last summer. They know about the you, and they probably don't want to work with you because they have that personal attachment to you, which I totally understand. Your next sale is going to come more than likely from a complete stranger. So when you meet that individual at the grocery store, when you meet that individual that you're helping do a set at the gym, and they ask you, hey, I see your shirt, or I saw your sticker on your car, do you do real estate? That's how you're going to get your next sale, by tracking those individuals and putting them into some type of CRM system that keeps them in your database and keeps them in your world, and you are able to be top of mind for them. I can't tell you how I don't save numbers on my phone anymore. Whenever I meet individuals, I share my digital business card with them, which puts them automatically into my contact management system. And then I immediately get them on some type of drip campaign that I personally created that caters towards individuals that are cold, warm, and hot. I personally, in my CRM system, and I use Lofty, which is available for any agent that's here at Real Broker. That's the brokerage that I'm at. Of course, if you want to have a conversation about joining Real Broker, I love it here. And I think any agent will say the same if you really come through with an open heart. But we have a great CRM system that we use through our partnership with Lofty. And that's how I track these individuals that I reach out to or connect with, either whether I'm cold calling or they hit me up from YouTube or social media. That's how I stay top of mind for these individuals. And by tracking those individuals based on the various levels of engagement that they're at, again, whether they're just looking and they're just called to tell me how nice the video home tour I did was, or if they say, "Hey, Marvin, I've seen your videos. I'm getting ready to move down from New Jersey. Can you help me? Would you be willing to work with me?" Of course, I'd be willing to work with you. You'd be surprised how shy most individuals or prospects, especially that find you on YouTube, will be when they call you, because they look at you as like they're kind of mini celebrity to them. I'm just a regular old dude here in Atlanta, Georgia, but I know that when people are watching on platforms like YouTube, you become a sort of pseudo celebrity in their minds. And so when they reach out to me, I sound exactly the same way that I'm sounding right now. I welcome them and thank them for reaching out to me. I ask them about their timeline. I ask them if they are working with a lender already. That's my way of finding out if they're pre-approved, because Marvin ain't going to show no houses unless we know you're pre-approved. So I find out as much information as I can gather from that initial conversation, and then I immediately book them on my calendar for a welcome Zoom call. So it's all about that following up. It's all about that following through. And as my good friend Ryan Serhant says, it's about following back as well. So when you create a way to manage all of these potential prospects, because some of them will be ready to go, some of them will not be ready to go for another 6 months or 12 months, you need to have a way to keep all of that information organized. So I strongly suggest having a really good CRM system and then taking the time to go through your phone contacts to see who would be a potential fit to work with you on the real estate side. And then the next few areas that I would suggest, and we'll go through these parts pretty quickly, is diversifying your income streams. So I don't want you to just think about being a real estate commission sales agent and that's your path to leaving your 9 to 5. You have to start getting into the nuts and bolts of all aspects of real estate. What do you know about wholesaling? What do you know about JVing? What do you know about tax lien sales? You have to start understanding the other facets of real estate and seeing how you can get involved with that. If you're at a brokerage that allows you to be a wholesaler, for example, that could be a good way to drum up individual business for homes that are not quite ready to go on the MLS, because let's just be honest, they look like crack houses, but they may actually be a good fit for an investor that's looking for a complete rehab job. So by driving and being all in these real estate streets, because you are taking your brother, your uncle, your favorite realtor's advice and going out and doing home tour videos at least 2 to 3 per weekend, you're going to see other homes in your market that don't look too nice. And if you have the ability, because you're a real estate agent, to jot down that address and then look the owner's information up, of course, making sure that it's not on the do not call list. But if you are a licensed real estate agent, you are able to find ownership information using a place like, I don't know, propwire.com, which I've talked about ad hominem. Propwire.com, you can use Remind, and as a real estate agent, you can type in that information and find the owner's name, number, address, and potentially reach out to them. And it may not be a good fit to put on the open market, but they may be interested in a cash sale, off market type of sale. And if you have a network that you're building up of prospects, there's a ton of Facebook groups that are catered towards real estate investors. There are people out there with cash in their pocket that are looking for deals. So if you are that facilitator, by bringing them deals, you get paid in the process. So I don't want you to just be thinking about selling, helping folks sell and buy and making you a 3, 4, 5, 6% commission. I want you to start thinking like an investor. How can you actually get directly involved in some of these deals? How can you JV? How can you really truly be the person that's controlling your narrative and selling homes, not just as the salesperson, but as the actual owner of that property? So you got to start thinking about multiple ways to get involved. You could be a consultant for other individuals that are interested in buying, but they're not quite ready to pay an individual for a commission. You can get paid a multitude of ways as a licensed real estate professional. And I want you to start thinking about those types of creative ways that you'll be able to do that. Also, you have to have a daily routine. You cannot say you want to go and do real estate full time, but you're waking up on Monday at 10 o'clock in the morning. You're waking up on Tuesday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You're not disciplined enough in your personal life, but you somehow believe that you're going to be able to get that discipline by going and doing real estate full time. It is a dog eat dog world in the world of entrepreneurship, and it's not built for the faint of heart. I'm not going to tell you the Gary V advice to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm not going to do that. But what I will say is that you better have some type of strategy where you are up before everybody else, before your competition. You may not necessarily be able to wake up at 5 in the morning, but you can probably wake up about 6:30, get a good workout in, set your mindset for that day, talk to the man above and figure out how exactly you are going to be successful in this. But you have to have some type of discipline in your life because you are essentially being your own small business. You are in charge of your day. Nobody's going to tell you how to run your day when you are an entrepreneur. So if you're not disciplined enough to make those calls from 8 a.m. to 12 noon and wake up at 6 a.m., go work out, cut it off at 12 noon, and then go do home tours from 12 noon until 4 o'clock. If you don't create some type of daily system activity, you are going to struggle. And the great thing about creating systems for yourself is that you will be able to create what I like to call KPIs, key performance indicators. In the attachment of this video, if you're watching it on YouTube, if you go to in the description, I have a free tracker that I give every and any agent as a personal gift from me. This is how I track my day on a regular basis to make sure that I'm moving the needle in my business to do the things that I want to do that are outside of my business, the fun things, to travel with my wife and our daughter and do fun things like that, go see the world, do all of that kind of cool stuff. It takes having a structure and handling your business on the business side so that when it's time to party, we party hard. So please accept that as my free gift. It's in the description of this video. If you're watching this on TV, go to YouTube and you'll see it in the description. But you got to get your time management down packed in order to really truly find success in what it is that you are planning on doing. Last few areas that I want to walk through is that you've got to have some accountability. So in my phone right now, I've got several different group chats of real estate buddies of mine, and we keep ourselves accountable because no man is an island. So you have to have those individuals that are also in the trenches with you, that are rooting for you. You're rooting for them. When they're having wins, you're celebrating them. When you have wins, they celebrate you. Having an accountability group, I think, is incredibly important, both personally and professionally. That accountability group, one of the things you could do is in one of your group chats, you can tell that group chat, hey, if I don't get 3 videos recorded and done this weekend, I'm going to pay everybody in this group chat $20. You can bet your bottom dollar that if you say that, you're going to get it done because you don't want to have to fork over the pain, if you will, by forking over that money to those individuals. So having those accountability groups, I think, are incredibly important, and they will keep you on your task. Have that individual that you know, you like, and you trust above everything telling you, hey, where are you in this particular goal? You said that you planned on having, 1 month runway of your expenses saved up. How have you been, how have you, hit those goals? What are you spending your money on? These people should be individuals that you trust that should keep you accountable to your goals. If you say you want to have 1 month of expenses saved within the next, 30 to 60 days, okay, great. In 60 days, they should set a reminder to see if you hit that goal. But if you do not have anyone that's keeping you accountable, your brother, your uncle, just come back to the comments here and type, I'm going to do it or something like that. And I want to root for you here in the comment section. I want you to be able to make the leap to do this full time because it's fun. It's truly fun. It's a stressful career, but it is a truly fun thing to do real estate full time. And then, of course, and this is in no particular order, make sure that you have support. So if you are in a relationship, you have a significant other, you're married, whatever the case is, or you are beholden to someone else, let's say you're living in your parents' basement, for example, those individuals should be in agreement with what it is that you're doing. And I say that because you're going to need to lean on these individuals when the times get tough. If you have a significant other and they don't think it's a good idea for you to make that leap, there may be some underlying thing that you're not seeing because you got blinders on and you just really, really, really want to go full time in real estate. But there may be some obligations that maybe that individual is trying to help you understand. And it's not to hurt you, it's to help you. And you have to be willing to ask yourself those tough questions. Do I want to do real estate full time because I hate my job? That's going to be a little bit of a different conversation if you're doing it because you simply hate your job. It might be a better idea to go get a better job or get another job, and then that may reshape your perspective on going full time into real estate. But wherever you go, there you are. So if you're trying to run away from something and say that you're doing real estate full time and that's the reason you're doing it, that's going to be a pretty bad excuse, and you're not going to really go hard in it because you're only doing it because you hate your job. So if you're doing because you hate your 9 to 5 job, at some point you're going to hate doing real estate because real estate can and is incredibly stressful. It's not a grass is greener on the other side. Trust and believe. It's got its own share of pain and struggle and just questioning why you're doing this on a regular basis. I do that every time. Trust and believe. So make sure that you're doing it for the right reasons. You really truly feel like your journey into real estate has been such a blessing to some of the clients you've been working with, and you would just be able to do so much more by having the additional time back to dedicate to doing real estate full time. But if you're simply doing it because you're running away from the job that you currently hate, I would implore you not to do that. Use wisdom. If you've got a significant other, they're depending on you. So you want to make sure that you're going about this for the right reasons and not, you know, getting rid of the family savings to fund this, like all of this other kind of the crazy stories that I've heard individuals do under the guise of saying they had to do this to make their real estate dreams happen. You got to keep the main thing the main thing. I've always heard that said, and that was some of the most sage advice I've been given by my wife, my significant other, is you got to keep the main thing the main thing. If you have a game plan to make that transition, it should be clear, concise, and if you can sell your significant other on why it makes sense to do it, then you know you're truly doing the right thing. And then the last 2 points is to treat your real estate goals to go full time like it's a full time job right now in your 9 to 5. So what I mean is, as soon as you're done with your 9 to 5, from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m., you should be doing something relating to building that platform and that runway to go do real estate full time. If you have weekends available to you and you normally just sit around watching football, that might be the time to turn that off and start watching videos like mine that's directing you on some key strategies and things that are working. I would tap into all sorts of real estate related videos so you can truly become a student of this thing called real estate, because there's always something new that I'm learning. There's tons of great YouTube channels that are dedicated to helping you get better, get sharper, get faster as a real estate professional. When I learn something new that helps me in my business, I do a video on it because I feel like if this can help me, this probably can help someone else. And that's why you're watching this, and I hope you're getting value from it. But you truly have to be a student of this. There's no more watching season after season of your favorite TV show. You have a game plan in mind. And I think as the last point, it's important to set an expiration date. You might say, okay, 8 months from today's date, I want to be in a position that if I lost my 9 to 5, I could truly do real estate full time. Give that expiration date, because if you have an actual end date on it, 9 times out of 10, it's a lot of good books that talk about this. You will psychologically do the things that move you towards that goal at that end date. If you just arbitrarily say, I'll do it when I feel ready to make the leap, you're probably not going to do it. And a year is going to go by, 2 years are going to go by, and you're still going to be wishing upon a star that you could go do real estate full time. So I would set an end date and hold yourself accountable to that end date. And let's say at that end date, if you have the ability to do so, take a leave of absence from work, right? You should, at least if it's a year from today's date, for example, you should have that 3 to 6 months of runway set up. So maybe take a leave of absence from work if it won't put you in a negative position with your job, and see what testing the waters would be like as a real estate professional. Maybe divert that money from your paycheck for your 9 to 5, divert that to like another type of savings account or something like that, and try to see if you can live off of only your real estate related income for the next 3 to 6 months. There's a lot of ways that you can test this thing out to see if you really truly are ready to make that leap. And once you've done that, go ahead and make the leap, see how it works, but do it in a strategy where you're not burning any of your bridges, so that if you didn't necessarily plan for it the right way, you did all the things, but it just didn't work out for you, that's okay. You can go back to that 9 to 5. I wouldn't say burn the boats. Like, that's kind of fun, cool advice for social media, to burn the boats and just go into a full time, and there is no tomorrow like Rocky. I get that. Trust me, I get that. But that may not be wise to do if you've got kids, if you got a spouse, if you got other obligations, family that you're taking care of. That may not be the wisest thing to do. But there's a whole lot of ways that you can strategize and kind of do a quasi quiet quit, if you will, to see if doing real estate full time would be best for you. If you got value from today's video, the YouTube algorithm, which popped up this video right here, believes that this video right here is really truly going to help you in your business. It handpicked this video for you and only you. So before you leave the channel, check out this video right here, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.